Okay, now we've created a service to delete a trader. Let's implement that service in a process through the Lives app application. So we're going to add another creator process. We're going to call it delete trader. We're going to click on add. So it shows us this default screen where we can see the first step that captures the information about the process. So let's click on the actual process. We're going to see process properties. We're going to click on availability. So I only want to make this delete trader available to administrators. So I'm going to click on let me choose, and I'm going to say administrators. Next, I want to change the name of this task that will capture delete trader. So I'm going to click on definition. I'm just going to say it is capture delete trader. Information. Okay. The next thing I want to do is to create some data that we will use in this process. So the data I will need is I want to create process related data. So I don't want to make the data part of the case. I want to make it just for the process scope. So I'm going to say trader ID. I'm going to say the trader ID is just plain text. Okay. And I am going to add another step called delete trader response code, and that is going to be a number because it comes back from a web service, so it's going to be a number like 200 or 500, and that's it. So if we go back and quickly look at the data fields, we now have two data fields, the response code as well as the trader ID. I now need to expose the trader ID to the first step where I will force a user to enter a trader name. So I clicked on the step, I clicked on the edit button, and I clicked on the data tab. So I'm going to say let me choose. I'm going to choose a data field called trader ID, and I'm going to make that field required. Okay, so the exit state, I'm just going to make that state for right now. The specific state, I'm going to say trader deleted. So I assume that it is going to delete it, and I will reset it if the service call fails. Next, I need to add a second task to actually execute the delete trade. I'm going to select a new task. I'm going to say the task name is execute delete trader. Okay, and I'm going to say this is a service. Before I do that, I'm just going to link these two steps up, and now I am going to select a step again. I'm going to say what is the service I want to execute. So I'm going to click on select service. I'm going to say delete trader, and I selected delete trader, and I select. Now you'll see my tabs changes. So now I need to add inputs and outputs and an exit state. So I'm going to say inputs is a process field, and it is the trader ID. In the output fields, the response code is a process field, and it is delete trader response code. The exit state I'm just going to leave as it is for right now, so I'm not going to do anything with the exit state. I'm going to have a gateway to evaluate the response from my execution of my web service. So in response, I'm going to send an email, actually two emails, one for successful and one for unsuccessful. I'm going to link these two up. Second one, I'm going to make my default flow, and the first one I'm going to say delete trader response code I'm going to say if it is equal to a specific value, in this case it's 200, then it's going to follow this line. Otherwise, it's going to follow the default line. So I'm going to say the first task is to send a successful email notification. So I'm going to say delete confirmation. Delete confirmation. And I'm going to say it's a send an email. The email is going to be to the administrator because he created the subject. So I'm just going to say delete trader confirmation. I'm just going to say trader deleted successfully. I'm going to put in the trader ID. That way we know that the trader was deleted successfully. And again, the state I'm not going to change, although it doesn't make a difference really. I'm just going to say trader deleted. I'm going to configure the second one, which is not deleted. I'm going to say that's an email task. Again, I'm going to make it to the administrator, and the subject is trader not deleted. I'm going to just say trader. Let's select the trader ID not deleted from the blockchain. And that should be all that we need. So let's test the application. We are going to click on test application. It's going to get it ready for testing. And now I have the opportunity to create a new trader. Let's just create a new trader because we don't have any traders in the system right now. You can see when I execute my trader API, there's nothing there. So I'm going to create a new trader of a process I used earlier. I'm just going to say Michael Myberg, and I'm going to say it's Mike's account. So I'm going to submit this, and just to show you, I actually have my trader that is now created. Okay, I have also received an email specifying that the trader was created successfully. Okay, so we are going to close the screen, and I am going to trigger a new service that says delete trader. So I'm just going to add the trader ID, click on submit, and it successfully triggered that, that API. So if I now do a refresh, we will see that that trader is gone. The process was successful. And you will also see that I have an email message saying that the trader was deleted successfully.